My God, who are you, and who am I?
This was written by a man 2 days prior to his ordination. His name, Vincent Pallotti. Campo di Fiori. People buy and sell. They live here. They have family and friends. They have responsibilities and are searching for meaning. They have questions.
Where to from here? What am I living for? Do I have the strength to bear it all?
Some also look for God.
Does he exist at all? How do I experience him?
200 years ago, people were also asking these questions. In those days, Vincent Pallotti walks almost daily through this market. He always has a good word. He doesn't say anything new, but only what's written in the Bible.
God is real. He loves you. Vincent Pallotti is a priest. He was born here in the heart of Rome.
Rome at the beginning of the 19th century. Bustling, loud, dirty and hectic. Riches and poverty. Indulgence and misery. Pleasure and sadness. Side by side. And it is a religious city. The church is omnipresent.
All this molds Vincent. A boy like many others. He is educated and well brought up, becomes an altar boy and helps the needy. Yet he is an exceptional child, thoughtful, deeply religious and determined. These characteristics shape his future path.
Since time immemorial, water flows through Rome like blood flows through human veins. It comes from the mountains, pours out in hundreds of fountains. People drink it, are refreshed, rest a while and enjoy life. Water is the symbol of a vibrant and living city. Close to the fountain of the Four Rivers in Piazza Navona, Vincent Pallotti goes to university.
As the water flows, so he follows his faith. He will be a priest.
His fellow students appreciate him. They often have discussions with him. The future Pope Pius IX and other important people are among his fellow students. He benefits from these encounters.
With his ideas and views, he inspires his listeners. When he speaks of God, it comes across authentically.
For him, and this is not a popular idea at the time, all people are equal, created in God's image, and thus all have the same incontestable worth.
God loves you. This is his deepest conviction.
But he also knows doubt, asks himself probing questions.
What does God expect of me?
Even a day before his ordination, he writes,
How can I bear it? My God, who are you, and who am I before you?
Aged only 23, Vincent Pallotti is ordained as a priest for the people of Rome and for the world.
Everywhere, in Rome and elsewhere, people are searching for meaning in life, for comfort and assurance. Not all can find an answer in the church.
Pallotti is a man who can listen and give advice. He becomes a sought-after confessor. The common people trust him, as do the nobility and cardinals, sometimes even the Pope.
He works a lot with young people and becomes the spiritual guide for students, for the sick and those in prison. His sweeping message flows through the streets of Rome and reaches the people, as does the water in the fountains of the city.
Rome is the center of the world church. Young men from all over the world are trained in its colleges as priests. Pallotti gets to know the questions, concerns and traditions of countries from all over Europe, from Asia and Africa. Working with these people broadens his view. Their different ways of living God's message enthuses him. But inwardly, he remains thoughtful. Questions remain. When Jesus said, "Follow me," was he referring to only the priests and bishops, the successors of the apostles? Or was he referring to all people? In the image Queen of Apostles, Pallotti, who is devoted to the Virgin Mary, finds his view of the Church brilliantly expressed.
Everyone baptized is an apostle and called to spread the message of the gospel. For Pallotti, this goes without saying.
In his conviction, Pallotti is not alone. He finds companions, priests and lay people. A network develops. The 9th of January 1835. Father Pallotti has just finished celebrating Mass. He kneels one more time for a short prayer. At that moment, it becomes clear to him.
He has to turn his idea into an institution, his circle of friends into a community. The aim, to spread the faith, to deepen it, and to practice active charity. The Union of the Catholic Apostolate is founded.
The grand Baroque church of Sant'Andrea della Valle. More than 5,000 people visit the perfectly conducted celebrations of the Feast of the Epiphany. The magnificent and colourful services in different languages make the Union known throughout the city. They are the living example of Pallotti's conviction.
God is a God of all people, in all cultures, at all times. However, times are getting worse. The city on the Tiber is choking in filth. The life-giving water is becoming insidiously dangerous. In 1837, cholera rages in Rome. The poorest are hit once again. Countless people die. Orphan children roam the streets. Members of the Union provide help wherever they can. An orphanage for girls is opened, the Pia Casa di Carità. Here, children receive comfort and care. From among the women who care for the girls, the first community of sisters of the Union, the female Pallottines, is formed. This work gets recognized and the responsibilities grow.
Years go past. The organization grows, and in 1844 the Pope donates the church and the house San Salvatore in Onda to them. This is where the community of fathers and brothers is formed, the Pallottines. When Pallotti is not on the streets, he spends his time in his study. Prayer, study, writing letters, taking confession. He works and works, to the point of exhaustion. He sometimes retreats to a house in Frascati, not far from Rome. This does his health good, and he gathers his thoughts. He sorts his ideas and plans and puts them down in writing. He draws up structures and rules for the Union. He writes many letters. As yet, he has no inkling of the oncoming danger. Vincent Pallotti is always loyal to the Pope. Therefore, in the throes of the revolution, he has to fear for his life. He narrowly escapes an assassination attempt and hides in a college.
Nevertheless, in those weeks he writes a book entitled God, the Infinite Love. Surrounded by death and destruction, he puts his faith in God.
In 1849, the situation calms down. The Union has to restore itself. In January 1850, the Epiphany feast is celebrated again. But Pallotti is getting weaker. His body is giving up. Pleurisy, he's in the grip of a fever. One last time he visits the sisters in the Trinità dei Monti, above the Spanish Steps.
As he leaves again, he knows this is the last time he'll walk through his Rome.
Once home, just a few companions gather at his bedside. Pallotti gives them courage and speaks of his confidence that his work is blessed.
He dies on the evening of the 22nd of January 1850. The news of the death of Il Santo, their saint, spreads like wildfire among the people of Rome.
People gather by the hundreds on the Via dei Pettinari. They sense just who it is they've lost.
For Vincent Pallotti, the love of God and people was the most valuable thing in life. Many of his thoughts are now commonplace in the church and continue to live in people who are convinced.
If you don't love people you can see, how can you love God, whom you cannot see? Vincent Pallotti saw the people, and he loved.